Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitabugHandmades.com, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to finally announce the second feature of June Club Quitabug. I will be spotlighting the Time for Tea bundle. I love this bundle. When you purchase the bundle in my online store, you actually save 10% when you get the stamp set and the framelits together, so it's a really great value. I love the Tea Time Suite in the new catalog, so if you haven't checked it out, I really recommend it. It's gorgeous, so I'm so excited to share this new free project kit with you guys. I think you're gonna love it. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. We'll take a look at the free project kit and I'll give you all the details about Club Quitabug as we go. So you can find the Time for Tea bundle in the Tea Room suite on page 14 and 15 of the annual catalog. This is just a gorgeous suite, you guys. These papers are so pretty in person. You can't really tell from the catalog, but they are absolutely gorgeous. I love them, so I'm really excited to share with you the projects in the kit. So in addition to the Time for Tea bundle, you're going to also need some ink colors. So all of these colors are featured in the suite in the designer series paper. So I'm using Coastal Cabana, Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, Crushed Curry, and Calypso Coral. So when you receive your kit in the mail from me, it will come with all of the consumable supplies that you will need to make one of each of the 3 projects included in the kit. No stamped images will be included, so you would need the Time for Tea bundle if you want to recreate the projects exactly as I have, or you can use any other stamp set that you'd like. And all you have to do to receive this free project kit in the mail from me is place a $40 order in my online Stampin' Up! Store. That's $40 before tax and shipping, and make sure you use the hostess code that I've got right here on the screen. If your order is $150 or more, don't use that code because you will earn Stampin' rewards for that order, and you will still qualify to receive the free project kit in the mail from me. So if your order is $150 or more, do not use that code. So this kit will actually be available until June the 30th. So all orders placed between June 19th and June the 30th, 2018, using that hostess code will qualify to receive this free project kit in the mail from me. So let me share with you the 3 projects that we're going to make. So this is the first project. It's a little tea pouch. I love this pouch. So I actually have one tea bag in here. It's a Yogi tea bag. I love this designer series paper. I think it's so pretty. I love the colors featured on the paper, and I feel like this has kind of a vintage look to it. It's just so cute. I love it. This ribbon is really fun to work with, and this little doily that you can die cut using the framelits has these little holes in it. So that's kind of fun because then you can string your ribbon through it. And I thought that was a really cool feature of that doily. So really cute. So we've got a tea pouch. We make a really great, sweet, simple gift or treat to give to someone. Then here is card number 2. It says, "You fill my cup with happiness." Isn't that so pretty? I love it. I love this card. So pretty. And these colors just work so well together. We've got a little bit of the copper metallic thread there behind our teacup and saucer. So cute. And then here is card number 3. I love this card. I love everything about this card. There's so much happening on this card. It is just such a pretty card. So it says, "Warmed with love, steeped in friendship." Love everything about it. And then we've got the other ribbon that's featured in the suite. This one's more like a cream colored, and then you've got the copper border trim on the ribbon as well. Such a pretty card. All right, so let's get started. We are going to start by making the little tea pouch first. So I'm going to set my other supplies to the side, and when you get your project kit in the mail from me, envelopes are included at the back, and then you'll also have a full color PDF with pictures of the completed projects, and then it also includes measurements in case you want to recreate these projects. All right, so I'm going to get started first by doing a little bit of stamping on this piece of Rich Raspberry cardstock. We're going to stamp our little teacup and saucer. So I'm just going to ink that up, stamp that down right there, and then we're going to go ahead and bring in the big shot. All right, so I've got my magnetic platform here. I've got one cutting plate for the top, and then I'm going to bring in my little teacup that we stamped, put my die on top. The magnetic platform comes in so handy for this. I think that's lined up. Can't really see from this angle. Then I'm going to put down this piece of crushed curry cardstock, and I am going to take the large doily, put that down. We're going to die cut that out, and then we're going to put another cutting plate on top, and you want to run that through the Big Shot. Now we're going to do some stamping using the crushed curry ink pad, and what you want to do is take your doily and you want to line it up, you want to orient it to where you've got a hole on the right that is directly across from a hole on the left, so that our ribbon will string across straight. So I think I've got that how I want it, so just like so. And we're going to stamp the little open leaf arch image, and you want to stamp that at the very top in crushed curry, and then we're also going to stamp it at the very bottom, just like that. Okay, so in your kit you've got a piece of the designer series paper, and this is cut at 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. This will come pre-scored for you, but for the video I thought I would go ahead and show how I scored this to make the little tea pouch. Alright, so I'm using my envelope punch board to score this. So I decided I wanted to do 3 by 3.5 inches. Even though my tea bag doesn't actually measure 3 by 3.5, this measures about 2 3/4 by 3 inches. But I wanted it to be big enough in case, because some tea bags are bigger than this. So I wanted it to be big enough to fit most tea bags, just in case. But so anyways, you would want to measure your tea bag and make sure use that as your card size, and then it'll tell you what your paper size should be. So for 3 by 3.5 inches, it said 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, so that's what I did. So I'm going to take out the little scoring tool that comes with the envelope punch board. Then it tells me that I need to make my score line at 2 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to line my paper up at 2 5/8 of an inch. I've got my pattern going vertically. It's going to come out slightly angled once I finish cutting and once I finish scoring, but I'm fine with that. So 2 5/8 of an inch, you want to punch, and then you want to score. Okay, then I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to line up this score guide with the score line that I just made. So line it up. Okay, right about there looks good. Punch and score, then do that again. Line it up with that score line that you just made. Punch and score, and rotate around again. Do the same thing, line it up with that score line, punch and score. Okay, so this will come pre-done for you if you're getting the project kit in the mail from me. Then I'm going to put all of those corners in the little corner rounder and round them. Okay, and there's our little pouch. All right, so this paper is very delicate, so you don't really even need to use your bone folder. You can fold it pretty well just using your hands. So I'm just going to fold up on those score lines, just like so. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to bring in my tea bag. I'm using a Yogi tea bag, so I can put it vertically or I can put it horizontally. And you can see there's a good amount of room. So depending on what kind of tea you like to drink or you want to send, you can fit a variety of sizes in this little pouch. So I'm going to stand it up vertically, I think. Yeah, I'm going to stand it up vertically. I'm not going to seal the pouch because I want it to kind of pucker a little bit. I don't want it to be flattened down and sealed. I liked how it looked when it was like a little package. So I'm going to leave it like that. Then I'm going to bring in my little doily that we die cut and stamped. And what you want to do is just center that up and bring in your ribbon. And we are going to string this right through. Okay, run it across here. And then put it through the other hole, just like that. And the great thing about this is the recipient doesn't have to tear up the entire pouch to get to the tea bag. They can just simply untie it, and then that also leaves this little embellishment piece together as well. It'll stay together, and they can save this whole little package because it's so sweet. Okay, so I'm making sure that my ribbon is also straight across the back. I don't want it to be twisted or anything like that. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to tie this upside down. I just found that I got the best results when I tied it upside down. I don't know why that is, but sometimes that happens. Just make sure it's still straight. Yep. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim this side down just a little bit, just like that. I'm going to leave it kind of long so that it's easy to seal back up if they need to retie the bow. Let me just trim it a little bit more. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is just add some dimensionals onto the back of our little teacup and saucer. I'm just going to put 2, and these dimensionals are also going to help keep the ribbon in place on the embellishment so that when you do slide this off or untie it, everything stays together. So I'll just put that in the center right about there. So cute. All right, and there is our finished little tea pouch. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it, love it. All right, so for card number 2, I'm gonna start by taking this piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. I'm gonna bring in my Simply Chamois here and clean off my stamp, because we're gonna stamp that again in Calypso Coral ink. Love that Simply Chamois, so quick and easy to clean your stamps. Okay, so we'll just stamp that right in the center. Okay, and then you'll want to run this through your Big Shot and die cut this little teacup and saucer out. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the piece of Very Vanilla. This is going to layer on the front of our card base. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to bring in my Crushed Curry ink pad, and I've got the stamp that says, "You fill my cup with happiness." I'm going to bring in some washi tape, and I want to mask off the word happiness because I actually want to only stamp the "You fill my cup" with in the Crushed Curry. If you have the Stampin' Right markers, you could just color it. I don't have the Stampin' Right marker in the Coastal Cabana yet, so I'm just going to mask it off, and this works fine for me until I get my Coastal Cabana marker. Okay, so you can see I have masked that off with my washi tape. So now I'm just going to ink up the "You fill my cup with," and then peel off the washi. And I'm going to stamp this down here at the bottom in the center, right about there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to clean off this stamp, and we're going to come in with Coastal Cabana. All right, so I've already got washi covering up the "You fill my cup with," and I'm just going to ink up this happiness in Coastal Cabana. Ink that up really well. Peel off my washi. I'm going to line this up and stamp that down. Give it a good press. Perfect. So let me just show you that up close. So now we've got that sentiment stamped in 2 different colors. Love it. All right, so I've gone ahead and die cut my little teacup and saucer there. So let's start assembling the rest of this card. So you have got some squares here that coordinate with the Designer Series paper. So Rich Razzleberry to go with that piece, Coastal Cabana to go with that piece, and then some Crushed Curry to go with this piece. So I'm just going to adhere all of these pieces of Designer Series paper to their coordinating cardstock. All right, so I've got all of those little squares adhered together. So what I'm going to do is line these up where I think I want them to go on the card. Just going to make sure that I've got an equal border around each piece. Okay, so I think that's about where I want them to go, so I'll just go ahead and adhere them down one by one. All right, so I've got that done. So then in your kit, you've got a long string of the copper metallic thread. So I'm just gonna take that and put it between my pointer finger and my thumb, and I'm just gonna wrap it around my fingers, just like that. Whoops. Okay, just like that. I don't know if you can see that. Then I'm going to take some adhesive, just lay it down right there in that open space, and then I'm going to twist this around, make a little loop of it, so you can see how I've just looped that around, okay? And then you can kind of fan it out a little bit more if you want it more fanned out, however you would like it. Then I'm going to flip this teacup over and just add a couple of dimensionals on the back. Okay, and then we will just lay this little teacup right on top of that little embellishment right there. Okay, and then I'll flip this layer over. I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back of this. Okay, and I've just got a Whisper White thick card base. Let's go ahead and give that a nice crease. Let's get the backings off of these dimensionals. Alrighty, and then we'll just center this up and add it to the front of our card. Right there, looks good. Okay, and there we go. And that finishes up project number 2. I love this card, so pretty. All right, so now our last and final project. Okay, so you've got 2 pieces of Very Vanilla for card number 3. One piece is shorter than the other piece. The short piece is the one that goes onto the front of the card. So make sure that you look at these carefully because you don't want to use the wrong piece. So the one that's shorter is going to be layered onto the card. This piece is going to be used for our die cutting. So I'm going to take out both of these pieces. So this is a piece of Coastal Cabana. I'm going to bring in my Coastal Cabana ink pad, and we are going to stamp that teacup and saucer right on the front of there. Then I'm going to bring in my Old Olive ink pad. And I'm going to take that large doily. We're going to be die cutting that out of this piece. So I want to make sure that I have room for all of my stamping. So I'm just going to lay that down so I can kind of use that as my guide to make sure that I've got enough room here for my stamping. I'm going to ink up that open leaf image here, the little arch, and I'm going to stamp that down 2 times. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Up! Piercing mat. I've got a piece of scratch paper on top of that. And I'm going to stamp the little filler image for that leaf, stamp it off, and then line it up. Fill in these leaves with some Old Olive. Okay, there we go. And then in Rich Razzleberry, can stamp the little flower image, and then the little filler image. Whoops, let me ink that up again. The little filler image for our flower. Let's see, line this up. There we go. Okay, stamp that down, perfect. All right, so we're going to die cut these pieces out. So again, I've got the magnetic platform, I've got one cutting plate. So you're gonna die cut the little teacup, again, using the die for that. Then you're going to cut out the large doily image. And then the great thing about the dies is that you've got two of this image right here. So you can actually cut out both of these leaf images at the same time. So it saves you so much time. I'm so glad that Stampin' Up! Put two of these in here. So I think that's really great. And then you've also got two of the flower image dies if you want to cut out two of those at the same time as well. But we're just going to need one of those. So you're going to line all of this up and die cut this, so this one's not going to want to stay. But you line all those up and run those through the Big Shot with another cutting plate on top. All right, so I was able to run all of those through at the same time. So what a great way to save a ton of time, being able to cut those all at once. Okay. Oops, let me just poke all of these out. All right, so now what we want to do is in the center of this piece right here, we want to stamp the sentiment. So I'm just going to line this up how I want it. Bring in my crushed curry ink pad, and I'm going to stamp the warmed with love, steeped in friendship. Okay, that looks great. All right, so then I'm gonna bring in my card base. This is a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. So I'm just gonna give that a nice tight crease. We're gonna do a little background stamping here on this piece. So I'm gonna bring back my piercing mat and that scratch paper that I had earlier. Then I've got my Calypso Coral ink pad. I'm going to bring in this little leafy image here, and I'm going to start by just making my own background using this image. So I'm just going to stamp this all over the card base, and I'm just rotating the stamp around in my hand each time that I go to stamp it so that I can get a different position each time. Then I'm going to bring back this little flower image, and I'm going to use this image to fill in any gaps that I have here. All right, so I think that looks good. Look at how pretty that is. I love how that looks. So, so pretty. So we've got our background ready to go. So now I'm gonna take my piece of designer series paper. So this is more paper from the designer series paper pack. And it's just gonna have a thin border of this piece of Very Vanilla, just a very, very thin border around the edge of it. And I did that just so that this designer paper would pop out more from the Calypso Coral background. It just seemed like it didn't pop enough, so adding that little Very Vanilla border kind of helped it stand out just a little bit more. So you can see how it just kind of pops, just that little extra bit having that Very Vanilla border. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this on to the center of the card towards the top. So now we can go ahead and adhere these pieces together. So I'm going to use my fine tip glue to do that. So just put a little bit of glue on the back of these pieces. I'll just put those above the sentiment and below it. Okay, just like that. I think that looks good. Then I'm going to take my little flower, add a little flower, add a little bit of, did I say flower? I don't know what I said. Add a little bit of that fine tip glue on there. Press that up there, okay? And then I want dimensionals on the back of that piece, as well as my little cup and saucer here. So just put a couple on there, and just put that in the center. Oh, I hate to cover up that flower, but just put it right about here. Put it right there, I think. I'm not gonna press it down yet. I wanna make sure that that's where I want it. Yeah, that's where I want it. Press it. Put my little teacup in the center right here. Okay, there's that. So cute. And then lastly, I'm gonna take my little piece of that beautiful ribbon and tie a simple little bow. Oh, that tied really well. Then I'll bring in my glue dots. Let me just fold this glue dot over. And I'm gonna add this right about there, I think. Yep, just pop it right there. And then trim down those ends just a bit. Okay, there we go. All right, and that finishes up card number 3. I think it's so pretty. I love this card. Such an elegant little card. All right, so that finishes up the 3 projects in my Time for Tea project kit. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this kit. I really love how these projects turned out. And if you haven't taken a close look at that Tea Time suite, I highly recommend it. It is such a gorgeous suite of products. I really love everything in that suite. And I think these projects turned out just beautiful. So remember, all you have to do to get your free project kit in the mail from me is place a minimum $40 order. That's $40 before tax and shipping in my online store. Make sure you use this hostess code that I've got right here on the screen. Just don't use that code if your order is $150 or more. That way you can still get your Stampin' rewards and you'll still qualify to receive this free project kit in the mail from me. And if you'd like to find out more details about this kit, you can head on over to today's coordinating blog post. I've linked to that post just below the video in the description notes, so you can check out all the details over there. And don't forget, this kit is only available until June 30th, so make sure you get your order in by then to receive this free project kit. So thanks again, you guys, and I will be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.